Good morning. Good morning. It's Leanne Peters here. I'm from templeofbalance.com.au, Temple of Balance on Facebook and Temple of Balance on YouTube. And I am here to pull some cards for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 23rd of August through to Sunday the 29th of August. So welcome. If you're new to watching, welcome. I'll talk about what I'm going to do in just a minute. I want to send out an extra special welcome to my Temple of Balance patrons, my Pillar of Light family, and all of those of you who support my work through my website. Thank you so much for your support. I'm shuffling cards here because I have two new decks here that I haven't used yet. So I've just been preparing those, so I'll talk more about that in a minute. But welcome. So if you are new to watching, what I'm going to be doing is using my combined Speed of Light Oracle cards with my Animal Kingdom Oracle. They're all shiny and new. I've combined these cards to make a 110 card deck. And I'll be using these cards to look for the best cards for this week ahead. So I'll lay the cards out here beside me and share with you what I pick up. So I think of this as guidance for the majority of us. I don't pull cards for individuals here. So I trust that you've been led here for a reason, and I trust that something shared supports you at this time. So as always, take on board what feels right, what resonates, and what fits into your life easily, and let the rest go. So, so I've got a new deck. So my new Speed of Light Oracle cards, the second edition, the reprint arrived last week. So it's the same deck as last time, except just 4 cards have been tweaked a little bit to be a bit more aligned with how they've evolved. So I thought that I would take advantage of having new decks. So I've got a new Speed of Light Oracle card deck here that I've mixed with my Animal Kingdom. So I literally have not used these yet. So the way that I sort of break into, I suppose, a new deck of cards is, first of all, especially if you're combining a big deck like this, but any new card deck you get, like all of these dozens sitting around me that are being mailed out this week, when your new deck arrives, these are going to be all in order. The cards will be in order. So it's really important to sort of break your new deck in. So over the years of breaking a lot of new decks in, I've found the best way is to just lay the deck face down, or the 2 decks if you're combining, and just sort of separate them, spread them all out on the table, and move the clusters of cards apart, and just sort of mess them up a bit. And then just gather them back together and give them a shuffle. I'm going to test this deck first by just pulling 1 card. Actually, I'll pull 1 card for now, and I'll see how that is, just to make sure that the deck is aligned well, or the cards are aligned well. So I'll do that in a minute. Before I do, I want to just chat a bit about last week's theme, which is actually ongoing, because last week's theme cards was the lunar cycle, which talked about 1 month. So we've sort of passed 1 week of 4 weeks, so it's an ongoing sort of theme. The lunar cycle that came up with the Ammonite. And the Ammonite's reminding us to clear our private issues. So it's actually highlighting that last week, this week, next week, the week after most likely will be very favourable for us to look at our private issues and the things that we feel wounded by or we've been struggling with, to get these shifting and get these moving out. So let's just grab 1 card just to test this deck for its accuracy. Which is what I would usually do, but I'd usually pull a couple of cards for me. But let's just pull 1 card for now, and then I will get into the full spread. So what do we need to know right now, this very moment that we're connecting? And we have this Speed of Light Oracle card. Okay, it's Crystal Beach, which is a featured card. Look how shiny these are. The featured card says to split the deck and take the top card. So I'm just going to split and take this guy here, Overlapping Worlds. Okay, let's see how this resonates now, and then I'll get into the full spread. Okay, so these two cards have come up together for a reason, for now. So whether you're watching this Monday or Sunday or Thursday, see how this resonates for you for now. So I'm going to look at these separately, then we'll talk about their relationship. So this is card 11, Crystal Beach, and it says decision, vision, pondering, clarity, and decide. So this suggests that there is a decision that we might feel looming at the moment, a decision that we need to consider, a decision that we need to make, but maybe we're not certain about or don't have the clarity of which direction to take or what our decision is going to be. So there is a sort of uncertainty hovering in the air with this particular card. And this comes up with the Overlapping Worlds, which says transition, sensitivity, temporary, and adjustments. This was, funnily enough, one of the cards I did tweak out of the new deck. So this talks about being in between change, and maybe some of us might feel like we're in a bit of a transitional period, and transitional periods are a bit unsettling and a bit uncomfortable because it's like we've got a door open here and a door we're trying to close there. Or in other words, we've got one foot in our old world and one foot in the new world. And a great example is when we're preparing to move house. And we might know that we're going to be moving next week or tomorrow or whenever, but we've still got to live in the old world. We've still got to pack in the old house. We've got to, sort things out. So we're sort of in between change. And that's what this card is very much about, that in between change time. So it feels to me like some of us might have a decision that needs to be made or clarity that we're looking for, especially in regards to change and the changes that we are considering or feeling upon at the moment. There is this sense, which I wrote in the current energy report just earlier, there is a sense of wanting to act hastily, especially Monday morning. So there's sort of this hasty feeling of making some very rash or reactional choices at this time as well. So I'm happy with that, resonates with me. So let's get some cards out for this week ahead. Now I trust in my cards, but I need to trust also in the newness of how these are sitting because I haven't used these before. So let's now ask the cards to show us what we need to know. The majority of us need to know for this week ahead. That's this week starting Monday the 23rd of August through till Sunday the 29th of August. What do we need to know? Okay, so let's pull these out, and I'm just going to lay them down here on the floor face down, so just bear with me a second. Okay, and because I've got lots of room, what I feel like I want to do is 2 cards at the top and then a big line down. So we've got 5 Animal Kingdom and 3 Speed of Light. Let's turn these over, see what we've got. Oh, okay, well, that's great. Oh, I have a little laugh because we're starting the week the same as we started last week, which is also just confirming the cards for me. We have one featured card, which is the featured Solar Cycle card. It's a featured timing card, and it tells us to take the top card from the deck. So I'm going to take this, which is the Honeybee, and add that to the Solar Cycle, and we're going to get to that shortly. So, starting the week here, like we started last week, with the Tiger Shark. And it's card 20, and it says to open your heart. So again, we're starting the week this week potentially in an open-hearted space. There is this feeling of sensitivity, of perhaps vulnerability, or feeling a bit fragile as well, a bit raw in our hearts. We may feel there is this sense of uncertainty around, and we may feel like we're questioning our heart or questioning our intention, questioning what we want for our future, questioning what we want to do next. So there is this sense of uncertainty in the air, but it seems to be connected with this sort of questioning of our heart. And I didn't realise it was questioning of the heart until now. But maybe knowing that we are sort of questioning or becoming more aware of or observing what our heart wants, what our heart needs, might be really important to start the week. So we might feel a bit sensitive, a bit vulnerable, a little exposed, but we're being encouraged to sort of, I want to say, like tuck into that, dive into that a little bit, or maybe a better word to use is sit in that sense of vulnerability that we might feel early in the week, and see what we can learn from it, or how it's going to help us make the decision that we might be faced with, or the clarity that we're looking for early in the week. So we can trust our instincts, and especially the instincts of our heart. And it makes me feel too like there might be some of us who have this sort of inner conflict early in the week, or as we begin the week, between our heart and our head. And that may be where the uncertainty sits too, because sometimes what our head thinks that we should do and what our heart wants us to do can totally clash and contradict. So that might be something some of us are sort of a bit of an inner dilemma that some of us are facing as we start the week. So what we're being encouraged to do is really sit in our heart and see what our heart wants. And be aware of what's happening in our head, but also keep perspective. You know, sometimes our lower mind reacts on fear or our own wounds and issues. So a nice open heart to start the week. And then we're being encouraged to early in the week. So I want to say Monday, still Monday and into Tuesday, we have the Echidna, card 19. And the Echidna says, don't dwell on the details. So this may also be something that some of us may be, having this bit of a dilemma or this sort of air of uncertainty about, especially when we're thinking about our heart and maybe this clash, this conflict between our heart and our head. So this card is reminding us to keep going, to not stop and dig up the unnecessary dirt on the unnecessary details. Sometimes it's good to have the details, but sometimes we get too fixated on the nitty-gritty details that aren't really that important. So it might be important for us to start the week to ask ourselves, is this thing that I'm considering, is this thing that's going on for me, am I blowing something out of proportion? Am I focusing too much on the nitty-gritty, the stuff that's not really truly important? And if so, how can I divert my attention perhaps back to the heart or back to what's really important in this situation? Like I say, and what I remind myself, is to tend to the nest. So that to me means tend to the things that are important to me. And if I'm blowing something out of proportion, or things just seem like they're overwhelming, then I need to divert my attention back to the things that I need to tend to that are important to me. So that seems to be the start of the week, perhaps this battle, this conflict of some sort between the head and the heart, or those sorts of energies. And then that takes us into Wednesday. So I feel Monday and Tuesday, perhaps this sort of hovering energy of uncertainty, and this hovering, perhaps conflict's a bit of an extreme word, but this sort of discordance between our heart and our head, or two parts of ourselves. And then that seems to point us down into Wednesday. So Wednesday the 25th of August, and we have this card, Scattered, which is card 13. It says overwhelm, confusion, concentrate, and plan. So this has also an air of scatteredness, uncertainty, which seems to be hovering. So we've got this energy that's just hovering. It's just sitting there is how it feels. So probably the first few days of the week are hovering energy, and it's probably really started over the weekend now I reflect on it. So maybe for these few days, but there is really good energy in this, because this shows the energy starting to move. So even though things still feel scattered and perhaps a bit uncertain for us, a bit all over the place, we might feel a bit spread thin while we're trying to cope with things or trying to work out what we're going to do next. There is energy moving on this. So Wednesday brings this scatteredness, but it is the sort of wind that's blowing that air of uncertainty out. And it can feel a little unsettling because, well, for many reasons, but it might feel just a little bit different. So what is really good about this card is that it's bringing in raw creative energy, raw energy for us to work with. So this is potential new ideas, new inspirations, things to start considering and seeing if we want to implement these in our life. What we've been encouraged to do, especially Monday, Tuesday and into Wednesday, is to create a really simple, doable plan. Let's not overcommit to things or overbook ourselves early this week. And in fact, some of us may even start the week where we just want to cancel a bunch of stuff or put some stuff off. I've already been feeling that too and have been resisting that hastiness. For now, I'm still sitting whether I'm going to change a few things up this week, early this week. So there might be that feeling that it's just too much. We just need to turn things off or cancel things. So we really don't want to overdo it early this week. Create a simple, doable plan. If we have a to-do list that's usually this long, let's make it this long. And if we get all that stuff done, then great. And if we can add to it, then fantastic. That's a bonus. So creating a doable plan to help us ride this energy through and get through our day. So day by day, day to day, step by step, that sort of thing. So that's Monday, Tuesday and into Wednesday, pointing down into Wednesday. Then we have these guys. Actually, let's grab all these three for Thursday. So we'll come back to shelter in a minute. Let's talk about these two cards first for Thursday. So that's the 26th. Oh, nice. I've just seen what's coming and how they fit in, but we'll get to that in a minute. So these two cards have come up together for a reason. This is a featured timing card, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It's card 52, and it says solar cycle, and it says 24 hours past or future. So this is very much talking about a 24-hour period. So we're looking at what feels to me around midday Wednesday to midday Thursday is this 24-hour period that's going to be potentially under the spotlight. And what it has to do with is this card, and it's the honeybee, card 32. It says a short break, but what I'm feeling from this card is an efficient energy. So that 24 hours or part there in between of that 24-hour window feels to be quite an efficient time, and we might find things start moving, or we feel this sort of spring in the air or this warmth. It almost feels like after having everything shut down or shut up for winter or shut up for those 3 days of sort of that air of uncertainty hanging around that's just sort of hanging there and not moving. It feels like this 24-hour period, like opening all the doors and windows and letting all that nice breeze, that fresh air come through. So that's what it feels like wants to move in over that 24-hour period. And it feels like it brings a freshness, but it also brings a sense of efficiency, which we might find in a productive way. So we might find that, you know, we can use our time more efficiently instead of backtracking and doing a bunch of things and wasting time. There feels to be like this good sense of working with time from midday Wednesday to midday Thursday. So this efficient energy. Now, some of us too may need to take a short break, and it may be during this time period, or we may find that during this 24-hour period that we need to organise a break for next week or next month or whatever we can manage with our time. So that's for Thursday, or Wednesday and Thursday. And also here for Thursday, we have card 51 called Shelter. It's actually funny I use that example of opening up the windows and doors in the home, because this card very much talks about our safe place, our safe shelter, hopefully our home. So it brings highlight to the protection, the safety, the comfort, hopefully that we're feeling in our home at this time, but especially on Thursday. So it feels to be a place of rest, a place of healing, a place of maybe licking our wounds if we've felt a bit wounded lately, and definitely a place to bring freshness in. So opening up those windows, it might be a literal thing that we do where we just want to air things out and get the old stuff moving. We might want to get out our smudge stick and smudge around our home. So there is definitely a highlight here around our home or our safe place, the place of shelter, the place of safety for us, hopefully. And if you don't have a place like that, for you it may not be like a whole home, it may be a room. Hopefully you've at least got a room, like a bedroom or a place where you feel safe and where you can sort of spend some time where you can be yourself. If not, maybe a place in nature, or if not, maybe an inner place, like an inner home where you can retreat to. So that's for Thursday. Now, Friday. I got very excited because I distracted myself for a second when I looked down at these cards and saw that our heart chakra day is Friday the 27th of August. And look at the card we've got for the heart chakra. And it feels beautiful. It's card 22, the lotus heart. And it says Om mantra, meditate, reconnect, and peace. And it feels something beautiful here about the heart. There is something very grounded, something very, oh gosh, what's the right word here? Grounded and anchoring and organic perhaps about this energy that I'm feeling in the heart. And it feels like it wants to open. It's a different feeling to the tiger shark, which felt a little bit more raw and a little bit more vulnerable, a little more exposed perhaps. Felt a little more emotional, we could also say. But this one feels very down to earth, very like finding or connecting with the reality of our heart or what our heart's desire is and the practicality, the realness of that. So opening our heart and reconnecting with our heart is really important and very favourable for Friday. So that's the 27th. But the heart chakra, so I look forward to connecting with you guys if you're joining in for that. And if you want to join in for it, have a look on my website. You'll need to become a Pillar of Light member, which is $10 or 15 Australian for the month, or a Patreon, $10 for the month. And you can access all of the chakra videos to date. But the heart is on Friday. Very excited because the heart is then leading us into our online art class on Saturday, which I just feel so strongly they're connected, which is to create heaven on earth. And we have this card for Saturday, which is the 28th, and it's the penguins, card 37, and it says unbreakable bond. So this is an unbreakable connection that we have with someone. So this is not an everyday thing. There might be one, two, there'd be lucky to be more than a handful of people that you've probably ever felt a really strong bond with. Some people have never felt it. Some people might have it with just one person. It might be a partner, it might be a parent, it might be a child. Usually this card comes up when there is distance. Sometimes the distance is that, you know, the person might not be with us right now, or they might have moved out of home if it's a child, or this person may be in spirit. So I've seen it come up for that connections too. So this is reminding us of the unbreakable connection and bond that we have with this special person in our life. And if you've been thinking about them lately, then this would definitely be a validation that that connection, that bond that the two of you have is strong. It's unbreakable. Nothing can break it, not even distance. Distance cannot break these sorts of bonds because the connection goes beyond what we can explain. So you will know, you will feel that in your body. You will feel the truth in this for you if it's a message for you. So this unbreakable bond is important for Saturday especially. And really considering, like when I think about this in relation to our art class, which is to, I really feel so strongly now, and it's probably going to continue evolving this week, that I'm going to encourage you to create your heaven on earth. And create that connection, that bond with your earthly experience, and how we can all bring heaven to earth for ourselves in our life and our world. I don't know that it's something we can really create like a world of, if you like. I think it starts with the individual. So if we can all create that space for ourselves, then all those little spaces join, and then we create a world of heaven on earth, we could say. So there's something really powerful about this, and I feel that there is this really special bond that, or a connection we could say, that is being created and generated now. And then we move into Sunday, the 29th of August, and we have card 33, Gaia. And Gaia says, spring, nature, message, listen, and life. Life calls us. So once we get the hovering uncertainty out of the way, once that new energy comes in, once we work with that efficient energy, feel the safety and comfort of our home or being ourselves, opening our heart, connecting with these bonds or the connections that we have, it feels like we're moving towards a place where we can feel and experience and welcome in more life into our body, into our relationships, into our life. So this brings life. Life is everywhere. We may turn on the news and see fear and perhaps death everywhere, war everywhere. And it's a good way to lower our energy, to flatten us, to keep us small, to keep us separate, to divide and conquer. It's easier to conquer individuals who feel small and divided and scared. So what I feel, instead of being pulled down into the pits of all the destruction and the lack of life that we might be seeing in things that are portraying this, I feel like potentially this week we could move up that ramp and back into life again, especially by the weekend. Maybe even by Sunday, or even, Friday or even Thursday, we could start feeling that incline again, where we're starting to rise up out of that heaviness again, or that smallness. So life is calling us, and I almost feel like this is the carrot that's enticing us this whole week, moving us out of that small space. So let's be patient as we let the uncertainty clear out, and as we work out what our heart wants and what our head wants, and what's the best way to go. As we work all these things out this week, let's be patient, especially at the beginning, the first few days, because then I feel like it's going to be easier for us to move into life. But it's going to take effort, because we could continue to roll around in the destructive stuff that we're seeing around the place. You may even be dealing with quite heavy things in your life right now, and it might be really difficult for you to feel this. And I'm sure that this is temporary and you will move through it. So for you, it might be this week, just take one day at a time. Just go gently this week. For those of us who are dealing reasonably well with life, and we haven't got anything too big and dramatic that's going on that's directly affecting us, then we should be able to climb up out of this week if we allow ourselves to. So some of us may be called, especially on Sunday, into nature for some reconnection time, some downtime, some time to catch our breath, some time to see life there, to listen to nature, listen to life that's calling us. So this is life calling us in, or calling us out of our shell, out of our hiding place, especially around Sunday. So they are the cards for this week. So I trust they resonate with you, and it feels exciting because I do feel a lift, a general lift, raising up that's taking place this week, which is good. But we have to allow ourselves to experience that too, don't we? So let's think about the things we need to turn off, the things we need to detach from, the things that aren't supporting us right now that may need to be put aside, or a door that might need to be closed on those things, so that we can start feeling that life again, that, you know, that fuel coming back into us, where we feel excited to live and experience life again, where we have hope that things may improve or things may become better. So thank you for joining me. I am going to pull a theme card to go in just a second. Before I do, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this connection, please hit the thumbs up button. Please show us some love. Please comment or share if you're inspired to. And if you would love to connect more privately, please send us a message through our website. So I do have the Heart Chakra coming up this Friday for my Pillar of Light members, and my patrons on Patreon. If you would love to be a part of it, it's really a small exchange for something that can be really beneficial. So if you feel drawn to connect and heal and understand your heart more, then you might love it. And if you join too, you will also be able to access the last 3, which is the base, the sacral, the solar plexus chakras that have already been done. So check it out if you want, the Pillar of Light membership and or Patreon, which you'll find both on my website. And also my next online art class, which is the last one we'll be working on for my Healing Energy Cards project, Heaven on Earth. And I'm going to be encouraging you to really think about what your heaven on earth is. What would it look like? And how to create and bring that out onto paper or whatever, however you want to create. So it's going to be really powerful. I could feel this had to be the last one months ago, and I can feel and see now why it needed to be. So you can learn more about my online art class too on my website. Visit templeofbalance.com.au. And don't forget, you can still pre-order your Speed of Light Oracle cards. Pre-orders to date will be mailed out Tuesday or picked up by our courier on Wednesday. So, let's see, what will our theme card be for this week? So, like I said, the last theme cards for last week are still in effect. So, there's still been very powerful time these next few weeks to clear our private issues. But what do we need to know about this week specifically? Okay, the best card for this week, our theme is a Speed of Light Oracle card. Oh, yes. Now, this is another card that changed because I've changed it to say boundaries. This card is now called Boundaries, and it's card 1, Boundaries. It says truth, protection, courage, bravery. Card 1. Card 1s tend to mean new beginnings. So there is a new sense of hope that wants to come in this week. We may not feel it early in the week. We may not feel it Monday, Tuesday, maybe even into Wednesday, but we might. It just feels like hope's probably going to come in perhaps mid to later in the week. But there does feel to be a bit of hope in the air that wants to come in. So that's coming in here too. But this card's primarily about our boundaries. So boundaries are really important, especially if we notice things or people or situations or things we do, things that we listen to or watch that pull our energy down. Things that don't feel good to be a part of. Keep our energy down. That sort of negativity, that pressure perhaps that we're feeling, or it could be a specific situation or person in your life that you continue just to feel low around. So it's going to be really important this week to think about what new boundaries we need to put into place. Maybe we need to say, no, I'm not doing this any longer. Maybe we need to slam the door shut if we need to take an extreme action on that. Maybe we need to back off from something for a little bit and take a little break just to build our strength up again. So whatever we need to do, let's think about this week our boundaries and how supportive our boundaries are. What I like to do when I'm considering my boundaries is I like to notice where I'm giving my power away. So who am I giving my power away to? What am I constantly thinking about? What is pulling me down? And these things that are on my mind that I'm giving my power away to. And are they healthy? Are they supporting me? If I decide, no, that's not encouraging or supporting me at all, then I need to then do something about it. So it might be stepping back a bit. It might mean saying no. It might mean closing or slamming a door shut. So it really depends on the situation. But what is definitely highlighted this week are our boundaries. And let's make sure our boundaries are aligned with our truth and how we can stay true to ourselves. So boundaries, have courage to enforce our boundaries this week. So see how you go. Thank you so much. And I trust this resonates. Happy birthday, happy anniversary if you're celebrating. I look forward to connecting with you this week. I look forward to hearing that your Speed of Light Oracle cards have arrived. Those of you who have pre-ordered, so please let us know when they do land on your doorstep or in your hands. That'll be exciting. I look forward to connecting with you on Friday for the heart chakra, Saturday for the online art class. Ooh, so excited about both of those. And any other connections we might make this week. So take care of yourself, and sending you loads and loads of love from my heart to yours. Thank you. Namaste.